My ex-wife caught me staring from the yard like some pathetic suburban stalker, but instead of calling the police or closing the curtains, Lauren Hayes looked me straight in the eye and quietly told me, "If you want to look, just ask." I'm Ethan Thompson, 36-year-old architect, divorced father of 9-year-old Emma, and apparently the kind of man who lurks by his own mailbox, watching his ex-wife teach our daughter to plant sunflowers in their front yard. 2 years of careful boundaries, polite co-parenting conversations, and pretending we were just friendly strangers who happened to share a child. But there I was, caught staring like a man who'd forgotten how to stop wanting what he'd already lost. Lauren stood there covered in dirt, our daughter laughing beside her, both of them glowing with the kind of happiness I used to be part of. But now, I could only watch from 4 blocks and a lifetime of mistakes away. When she caught me staring and offered that invitation, not angry, not cold, something else entirely, my chest tightened in a way that reminded me why careful boundaries exist in the first place. The mail in my hand was from yesterday. I'd been holding it for 15 minutes, pretending I had a reason to stand on my own driveway like a statue. Emma's giggles carried across the space between our houses, mixing with the sound of Lauren's voice, explaining seed depth and watering schedules. The afternoon sun caught the streak of potting soil on Lauren's cheek, and for a split second, I forgot we were divorced. "Dad," Emma's voice snapped me back to reality. She was waving dirt-covered hands in the air, her face bright with excitement. "Come see our flowers." My feet moved before my brain caught up. As I walked across the grass that used to be ours, Lauren brushed dirt off her jeans and moved to the edge of her yard. The careful distance we'd maintained for 2 years suddenly felt like a canyon. "Ethan," she said, and my name in her voice still did things to me it shouldn't. "Lauren, hey, Emma Bean." I tried to sound normal, like a regular dad picking up his daughter, not a man whose heart was hammering because his ex-wife had just called his bluff. Emma grabbed my hand with her muddy fingers and dragged me toward 12 small mounds of earth. "We planted sunflowers, Dad. Mom says they'll be taller than me by August." But I wasn't looking at the flower bed. I was looking at Lauren, wondering what she meant by "just ask," and terrified I might actually find out. I knelt beside Emma, listening to her explain the careful spacing between seeds with the seriousness of a city planner, but my attention kept drifting to Lauren. She stood close enough that I caught the familiar scent of her shampoo mixed with fresh earth and summer air. 2 years of polite distance, and now here we were, sharing the same space again like we used to when we were a family. "We measured everything, Dad," Emma continued, her voice bubbling with pride. 3 feet between each one, so they have room to grow. Mom taught me that good things need space, but they also need good neighbors. The words hit differently than Emma intended. Lauren's eyes met mine over our daughter's head, and I wondered if she'd chosen those exact phrases on purpose. Good things need space, but they also need good neighbors. Was that what we were now? Neighbors? "That sounds perfect, sweetheart," I managed, my voice rougher than usual. "You'll have to show me when they start growing." "Every week," Emma declared. "You can come see them every week." The casual way she said it made my chest tight, like it was the most natural thing in the world for her parents to spend time together, to care about the same small miracles, to be present for the same moments, like we were still a team. Lauren cleared her throat softly. We should probably let your dad get going, Em. He's got movie night planned. But Emma's face fell in that way that always destroyed me. Can't Mom come to movie night? Please. She likes the same movies we do, and she makes better popcorn than the microwave kind. Silence stretched between us. The kind of silence that used to be comfortable, but now felt loaded with everything we couldn't say in front of our 9-year-old daughter. Lauren looked at me, and for the first time in 2 years, I saw something other than careful politeness in her expression. Movie night is dad time, baby, Lauren said gently, but her eyes stayed on mine. Your dad and I, we have our arrangement. Our arrangement. God, when had love become an arrangement? When had the woman I'd promised forever become someone I scheduled time around? But why? Emma pressed, her voice getting smaller. Why do you and Dad have to live in different houses? Why can't we just be a family again? The question hung in the air like smoke. Lauren's face went soft in a way that reminded me of every bedtime story, every scraped knee she'd kissed better, every moment she'd been the heart of our little world. And I realized with stunning clarity that I wasn't just staring at Lauren from my yard because she looked beautiful, covered in dirt. I was staring because watching her with Emma reminded me of everything I'd thrown away. Emma, Lauren started, but I cut her off. Because Daddy made some big mistakes, I said quietly, my eyes locked on Lauren's. And sometimes when grown-ups make mistakes, they have to figure out how to fix them. Lauren's breath caught. Emma looked between us with the sharp intuition kids have for detecting adult undercurrents. But you could fix them now, Emma said simply. You're both here. You both love me. It's not that hard. Out of the mouths of babes. Lauren's eyes filled with something that looked dangerously like hope, and I felt the careful walls I'd built around my heart start to crack. Before you find out what happens next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the moment everything changes. Trust me, you won't want to miss what Lauren says when she finally decides to take her own advice about asking for what you want. The afternoon was getting later, shadows growing longer across the yard where my family used to play together. And standing there with dirt under Emma's fingernails and hope growing like planted seeds between Lauren and me, I had to ask myself the question I'd been avoiding for 2 years. What if some mistakes were worth fixing? What if some love was worth fighting for twice?
The silence that followed Emma's simple truth stretched between us until Lauren took a step closer. Close enough that I could see the gold flecks in her brown eyes that I'd fallen in love with 12 years ago. You know what, Em? Lauren said softly, never breaking eye contact with me. Maybe movie night could use a little company tonight. Emma's face lit up like Christmas morning, but I felt my heart stop completely. Lauren, I started, but she held up one dirt-stained hand. I'm taking my own advice, she said quietly. I'm asking for what I want. Her voice dropped to almost a whisper. I want to come to movie night. I want to sit on the same couch as my daughter's father. I want to pretend for just one evening that we remember how to be in the same room without measuring the distance between us. The air felt electric with possibility and terror. Emma was practically vibrating with excitement, but I could barely breathe. What changed? I asked, my voice rough with 2 years of careful politeness finally cracking apart. Lauren looked at Emma, who was watching us with the intense focus of a child who knows her whole world might be about to shift. Then she looked back at me. You said you made mistakes and wanted to fix them. But Ethan, I made mistakes too. I stopped telling you when I felt lonely. I stopped asking for what I needed. I just waited for you to notice I was disappearing." Her eyes filled with tears that didn't fall. "And when you caught me looking at you today, really looking, I realized I've been doing the same thing you have, watching from a distance, pretending I don't miss what we used to be." My chest felt like it might explode. "Lauren, I miss you," she said simply. "I miss us. I miss being Emma's parents together, not just taking turns. I miss laughing with you. I miss having someone who knows why I cry at dog commercials and remembers to buy the good coffee without being asked." Emma stepped between us and grabbed both our hands with her muddy ones. "So can we try again? Can we be a family again?" I looked at my daughter's hopeful face, then at Lauren's vulnerable expression, and felt something that had been broken inside me for 2 years start to heal. "I've been driving past your house every morning," I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. "Not because it's on my way to work, because I wanted to see you watering those plants on your front porch, because for 30 seconds I could pretend I was coming home instead of leaving." Lauren's tears finally spilled over. "I noticed. I started watering them earlier and earlier, hoping I'd catch you looking." We were both crying now, and Emma was looking back and forth between us like she was watching the best movie of her life. "So," Lauren said, wiping her cheek with the back of her hand, leaving another streak of dirt, "should we try this again? Should we see if we can be better at being us this time?" I stepped closer, close enough to reach out and gently brush the dirt from her cheek. "I want to try. I want to come home, Lauren. I want to plant sunflowers with you and Emma. I want to fix what I broke." "We broke it together," she said softly. "We can fix it together too." Emma threw her arms around both of us, pulling us into a muddy, tearful, perfect group hug right there in the front yard where the sunflowers would grow. 6 months later, Emma and I moved back into the house with the green front door. The sunflowers were taller than all of us, bright and impossible to kill, just like Lauren had promised. Every morning, I water them with my coffee in hand while Lauren gets Emma ready for school, and every morning I remember that the best things in life aren't the ones you never lose. They're the ones worth fighting to get back. If this story reminded you that love is worth fighting for twice, that sometimes the most beautiful endings come after the hardest endings, then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that might change how you see your own life. Because sometimes the person you're meant to be with is the person you've already loved, and sometimes the greatest love stories are the ones that get a second chance to bloom. What would you do if your ex-wife caught you starring and invited you to look closer? What would you do if getting your family back was as simple as admitting you never really let them go? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, sometimes the ending is actually the beginning.